Alright, so we're going to be working on team builds for Purgatory Ban once he drops on global. These are pretty much the units you're going to want to use. So Purgatory Ban, very good obviously. Now here's the thing, he does work off of max HP, so keep that in mind. So his max HP, you're going to want it to be as high as possible. So when you get him on global, right, when you get him, your cosmetics, you want to prioritize the HP headset. You don't want to do attack. I mean, you can do defense, but mostly you just want to focus on the HP set of the cosmetics. Because again, you want his max HP to be as high as humanly possible, right? Now, the good thing about it is he can buff up his max HP, which is very good just by using a skill, moving a skill, or ranking up a skill. So it's very, very clutch. However, he does need a little bit of support, right? He also has a buff which increases max HP by 10, 20, and 30%. Now, you will probably just be seeing rank 1 and 2 most of the time. Unless you're running green Gother, you're not going to see rank 3 often, right? It's very, very uncommon to get rank 3s every game you play as Bond. Now, his team. So obviously, Red Arthur, very good, cream of the crop unit to run with him because of his passive, increasing max HP by 30% and damage dealt to enemies by 20% if every ally in battle is human. So if you run him with Bond, every ally on the team has to be human. Otherwise, Arthur's buff will not proc, right? His passive will not proc, and he pretty much is fodder at that point. Arthur's stance is very, very good. His stance removes ult gauges when they attack, so it's very nice. He also decreases damage taken. However, his charge card actually isn't like the most damaging, and that's just because he's not a damaging unit, right? He's not Lost Vein where he's gonna crit every single time he hits. You know what I mean? And a lot of units have a lot of crit resistance, and his crit chance of crit damage is pretty low. So he's not a damaging unit. He is a support unit for Bond. So Arthur obviously is a main choice. Now, another good one is actually Kyo. This one, it doesn't surprise me, but it's like, wow, a lot of people are going to use him. So Kyo's a good choice to run alongside Purgatory Ban as well. Kyo obviously placing ignites every turn is very good. And then keep in mind, ignites, they do increase damage of 10%, and they can be stacked up to 9 times. So if you max out on ignites, you're getting a plus 90% damage increase, right? That's really, really strong. So the opponents are going to take 10% more damage, and again, at max, if you max out at 9 ignites, they're taking 90% more damage, which is very, very impressive, right? So my boy Kyo is a very good partner. Keep in mind, he also reduces damage dealt to allies by 5% for each ignite on an enemy. So the more ignites that you can stack, the better, because Bond won't be taking damage, man. He's not taking damage. Kyo is just a monster to run alongside Bond. I know a lot of people don't have Kyo because, you know, you might have started after the banner went away, which is, you know, understandable. They're very, 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 very limited. The fact that they haven't returned is unfortunate. They might return in the future. They might, but that remains to be seen. Now, I don't know why, but people do run the One Escanor. I guess it's just for damage, right? DPS. But Bond is DPS, so I don't understand why they run the one. I don't, but sure, right? You could run the one with Bond and Arthur. That's completely fine, I guess, right? You know, having the one do as much damage. I guess they run him because he is blue and he can, you know, somewhat stand up to Bond. It's very, I want to say it's very difficult, even with the One Escanor on the Bond and Arthur team, to kill another Festival Bond team. It's very difficult because Bond has just such high max HP that even a rank 3 from Escanor, you have to, basically you'd have to get 3 of these cards, right? If Bond's fully built up, you'd have to get 3 of these rank 3 flood cards to kill him. You literally would. And that's if you crit, because Bond has amazing crit resistance, like amazing crit resistance. So you would have to crit, which is very, very hard against Purgatory Ban. I'm just gonna, keep it real. It's very, very difficult. But you can do it. It's just gonna be very difficult. So the one, I guess he's a decent option if you don't want to run mono red. He's a decent option. Another unit that's very, very good to run. Oh, up a red is Easton, right? Easton's good. Easton's very good. She depletes ult gauge. She can remove debuffs from Bond. She increases defense-related stats, giving Bond higher survivability. And at rank 3, she grants debuff immunity. So very, very nice, right? Very, very nice support. Her passive is meh. Decreases damage that allies take from single target attacks by 6% for each OC unit on the team. That's meh, right? Because basically, you're only running Easton. So you're only getting a 6% reduction from single target attacks. See, the thing that they messed up with is giving it single target attacks. Why on God's green earth would they make it single target attacks? Why not just decreases damage like from attacks, right? Decreases damage allies take from attacks by 6%. That would have been better, but Bond has AoE attack, so it's like, okay, sure, right? That's null voided. Like, Escanor has a single target attack, but a measly 6% damage reduction? Like, what? I don't know what they were thinking with this passive. And all honesty, they need to buff this. They need to take the single target attack out of the passive and just make it decreases damage that allies take from attacks by, I would say, 12%. Like, having it, or even like 20. Yeah, I'm gonna say 20%, because let's be real, no one runs OC units all together. They have terrible synergy, so even if it was like at 20%, it wouldn't matter. They have terrible synergy. Yes, it would be high. It would be an 80% damage reduction, but no one runs OC units altogether, right? But if they were to make it 20, I guess that'd be too broken, busted OP, right? Because it'd be at max 80% since you can run her in the sub slot, right? It'd be 80%, which is insane. So, make it 12. 12 is good. 12, I think, is actually fine. So, yeah, she's a good unit. Her passive sucks, but her buff card and her attack card does give her a little bit of viability on Bond's team, right? Actually gives her like a good amount of viability because Bond does need support, right? And him increasing, or her increasing his attack defense related stats, Jesus, by 50% is good. It's very, very good. So she's a good option, and I'm very glad she made it on the banner for global. Very, very glad. So another unit is actually Lord Twigo himself, right? Lord Twigo himself is very, very cash money because of the fact that his passive increases strength attribute allies HP by 30%. So this is a case where the 30% buffers are actually very, very good. You can't run him on the front. Like, on the front, he's shit. But on the back, he's strong. Like, he is very, very strong. So go figure, you have Twigo, Arthur, that's a 60% increase to max HP right off the rip. And I guess if you wanted to run, if you wanted to run Greymoor, like red Greymoor, right, that would be an extra 15%, but you would have to be very bold, very, very bold to do that, right? I mean, very bold, because Greymoor, like, he sucks. I mean, look at his stats. He sucks. 2,000 defense, like, not even 3,000. He's ass. So you'd have to be very, very bold to run him in the front, because he will get stomped out. I mean, stomped. Yes, if he, like, no, there is no save. Like, this barrier sucks, right? Like, his ultimate is good, decrease attack related stats, but it's gonna do no damage because he's a start of the game SR. No one uses him. Again, if you wanted to run him on the back, you could, because he is not restricted to red types. He just increases allies HP related stats by 15%. So that's where he has the advantage over Twigo. However, Twigo just gives more of a buff to Bond, being at 30%. So that's an extra 15% HP that he gives to Bond. And Greymore gives HP related stats. So, I mean, you could run either or in the back. It doesn't necessarily matter, to be honest. But, yeah. So, he's good for him as well. Lilia, I mean, Lilia's good for him, right? But she's not all that impressive. I'll be completely honest with you. I mean, she applies corrosion, which is nice, right? She does apply corrosion, so there's no damage every, at the end of every turn, which is very good. She can deplete orbs on everybody, so that's where she's just very, very nice to use, right? Ult depletion on everybody, and then she can also heal all allies on rank 2 and 3 with her first skill. But I don't know. I feel like there's just better options. I mean, you could. She's not bad, but she's not the best, right? Like, let's be honest with her. She's not bad, but she's not the best. You could run even like someone like, I don't know. I mean, you could run Gother, but he's gonna get body slammed by another Bond. You could run him to increase attack related stats, but it doesn't matter for Bond. It really doesn't, because Bond is, he scales off of HP. So Gother's actually not doing anything for Bond. Like, he's literally not doing jack for Bond. Keep that in mind, right? So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. He won't be doing anything. But other than that, like, those are pretty much the top tier choices you could run for Bond. You just want to basically increase his max HP however you can, right? No matter what, you just want to increase his max HP however you can. But those are pretty much the best options to run. Let me know if you guys have other options that you're going to run with this Bond. I mean, you could even use, like, Ludo, right? Ludo's not a bad option. Where'd he go? I just seen him. Ludo. Yeah, there you go. You could even run Ludo. He's not a bad option. He's definitely a candidate to run with Bond just to lower their defense-related stats. However, that's all he's doing for him. He's really not doing much of anything else, to be honest. So, yeah, you could run him alongside Bond. If someone's running a fully built Bond, Ludo's just not gonna out CC Bond. It's just not. It's not possible, because Bond has the highest CC in the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Just wanted to give you guys a few units to work on before Bond actually releases. So hopefully you do that. Let me know down in the comments if this was helpful for you. Leave a like for the algorithm, and yeah, you guys already know, as always, I'll see you all next time.